Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf where we talk about books. Today I want to share with you the books that I am super excited to read in 2023. Now I want to separate this into a couple of categories for the reason that there are some new releases coming out in 2023 that I am very excited for, so I'll cover those first. And then there are a list of books that I am really eager to read regardless of when it was published, so I want to talk about some of those as well. Let's just jump in with the books that are coming out in 2023, specifically in the first half of 2023. Starting off with A Shade of Madness by Thiago Abdalla. This is book 2 in the Ashes of Averin series, book 1 being A Touch of Light with a prequel novella called A Prelude to Ashes. A Shade of Madness will be releasing on January 24th, 2023. Now, I've already talked about A Touch of Light back in my June or July wrap up video, so I'll leave that up in the cards if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on it or more about the series itself. But I am super excited to continue this series. It left off with a lot of things. There's a lot that happens in it. The world building is fantastic. The dynamics between the cultures is gripping, and these situations that the characters were put through, just fantastic. So I'm really excited to continue. I've actually received an e-arc for this, and I am really excited to jump into it. It's taking all of my willpower to not drop everything on my TBR at the moment and just jump into this, because where A Touch of Light left off, I have so many thoughts, so many theories, and I need to continue because I want to know what happens. Also, A Touch of Light recently became a SPFBO finalist, so congratulations, Thiago. And for those of you who haven't read A Touch of Light yet, let me just read the taglines in the back for you. How far would you go to resurrect someone you love? How long could you run from your past? Would you change who you are to show you belong? Now, there's no final page count listed for A Shade of Madness yet. However, the author did mention that it is going to be a bit longer than A Touch of Light, and that book was about 450 pages. So I'm guessing this is going to be around 500 or so pages, which is about average for a good fantasy book. A Shade of Madness also just has an epic cover, and like I said, I am just eager to get into this book and continue the Ashes of Averin series. Next is No Heart for a Thief by James Lloyd Dulin. Now, this is a debut book for the author and is actually going to be sharing the same release date as A Shade of Madness, which was January 24th, 2023. Now, this is a coming of age epic adult fantasy, and it is book 1 in the Malitu series. From what I've been told, this is going to have some found family dynamics, spiritual and elemental magics, along with a character-driven narrative, which all of that sounds up my alley and I am really excited for. Let's read the description on Goodreads. We are the stories we tell ourselves, even the lies. The thief, a great spirit, and her descendants have abused their ability to steal magic for centuries. When Kalo starts to hear the song of other people's magic, he must learn to hide from his people as well as the invaders. A gift or a curse. Kalo may be able to save his people from the Gaust Empire that claimed their land with this stolen magic. 18 years later, Kalo still prays to the spirits, but not out of loyalty or love. He knows better than to rely on those selfish bastards for anything. While hiding in the forest from his foolish acts of rebellion, he encounters a girl, Tayan, being pursued by 2 soldiers of the Empire. Against his better judgment, he risks facing the consequences of his past to intervene. When Tayan attempts to run off seeking vengeance for her family, he offers to train her to wield her magic and a blade. If he can't convince her to relinquish her need for vengeance and stave off the demons of his past, he's going to get them both killed. Again, this just sounds epic. It sounds like it's right up my alley, especially with there being a rebellion in there too. I always love seeing that in fantasy, and the cover for this looks great. It is done by the fantastic Felix Ortez as well. Next on this list is The Price of Power by Michel. Now, this is a debut book for the author, and this is going to be a bit of a chunker at 721 pages. It releases on February 6, 2023. Now, I've already received an e-arc for this one. I'm really excited to jump into it as it sounds really intriguing, and it's classified as a science fiction fantasy novel, so I'm really excited to see how the two elements come together in this one. Let's read the description on Goodreads. Prince Baradane could not hold back the darkness, not even in himself. He laid an innocent city in its grave and then died a hero. In his absence, war whispers across the land. Power-hungry highborns dispatch spies and assassins to the shadows as they maneuver for the throne, while an even greater threat rises in the south. Monsters and cultists flock to the banners of a mad prophet determined to control reality and then shatter it. Destiny stalks three to the brink of oblivion, a dead prince that isn't actually dead. Baradane buried his shameful past in a stupor of drugs, drink, and crime, and now he'd rather watch the world fall apart than wear a crown again. An orphan with a hero's blood who is forced to make a harrowing choice, betray her country or sacrifice her first love. And a powerful seer who has no choice at all. Her grandson must die. If any of them fails to pay the price, the cost will be the world's complete annihilation. So it definitely sounds like this is going to have some high stakes in it, some action, and I'm really intrigued to see what the world is going to be like in this as well. Next, we have 11th Cycle by Kian and Ardalan. Now, this is Kian's second book, and it is book one in a new series that they are writing called the Mistland series. It's going to be a bit of a chunker at 802 pages and is releasing on February 1st of 2023. Offhand, the cover alone reminds me of Dark Souls or Elden Ring. It just gives off those vibes. Now, this is a fantasy series, but it is grimdark and it does come with quite a few content warnings or trigger warnings. So I would recommend looking it up yourself just to see if this is something for you. It is going to be a bit on the darker side of the fantasy genre. Let's read the description on Goodreads. It has been 1,000 years since the last seed abandoned their duty. The mists are closing in. Finally, the morning bell tolls. A new seed is born, but is it too late? The rot eats away at mortals. The witnesses pray so that they may not turn into one of the forgotten. And the constricting mists infect the lands with fear. But there is more to this tale than just the elders and their seeds. 4 mortals will have a part to play in Mytheria's fate. A farmer girl with only love in her eyes, a warrior born to the life of a refugee, a highborn stuck between the realm of gods and men, and a woman running into the front lines and away from home. Will the cycle finally be completed, or will the mist swallow it all? A seed is born, and the evil is slain. So doth another cycle commence. Yet the last seed born hath turned traitor, and the mists, which had been pushed back, returneth. Based on everything that I've seen in the reviews coming out so far from the ARC team, this looks like it's going to be a epic read. Now, with how dark this sounds like it might go, I might need to plan a fluffy read after it. The last one in this category is Fallen Shards by Michael S. Jackson. I actually don't have a whole lot of information. There's no cover, no details available yet, aside from the fact that it is coming out in 2023. It is book 2 in the Ringlander series, book 1 being The Path and the Way. There is also a prequel novella called The Battle That Was Lost. Now, this is a fantasy series with one of the best worlds that I have read so far. If you want to learn more about it, I'll leave a link in the cards where you can find my review for this in a different video, and links down in the description below. But honestly, I am excited for this because I love the world, but I'm also excited to see how the author continues to grow with their writing. Again, I don't have a whole lot of details available. As they come out, I'll try and include some updates in the description of this video. However, in the meantime, I wanted to make sure it made this list as I am very excited to read it in 2023. Something that all these books have in common is that they are all self-published books. I'm excited to continue reading indie and self-published books as I found so many of my favorite books so far this year. Now, that being said, let's move into my next list, which is going to be a bit shorter, but it is series that I want to continue or complete within 2023. The first one on this list is End of Days by Aaron S. Jones. I have not read it yet. I keep pushing it off, and partly the reason is that I don't want it to be over. I've really been enjoying the Broken Gods trilogy. The first two books are The Flames of Rebellion here and The Paths of Chaos. I don't want it to be over, but I need to finish it and I need to know what happens. So I am hoping to read End of Days in 2023, and hopefully I can complete this trilogy sooner than later, as I imagine this is going to be quite an epic finale. The next series I am looking to continue and complete is the Songs of Kamaria trilogy by T.A. Bruno, and I'll be continuing with book 2 On the Winds of Quasars, and then hopefully finishing it off with At the Threshold of the Universe. Now, I had read In the Orbit of Sirens last summer, and I really enjoyed it. I've been really wanting to get back into this, and I did splurge on the hardcovers for this trilogy because the naked hardcovers are just gorgeous, and it comes with interior illustrations, which of course I couldn't resist. I'm also going to be reading Spirits of Vengeance by Rob J. Hayes. This is book 3 in the Mortal Techniques series. However, it's kind of cheating because each book, while they are a part of a series, all of them are standalones within the Mortal Techniques universe. However, I have been wanting to read this for quite some time. I've been really excited to get back into the Mortal Techniques universe, and I'm looking forward to the epicness that is Rob J. Hayes' writing. The last series on this list is War of the Last Day by Karim Soliman. Now, I read Army of the Cursed back in the summer of this year, and I really enjoyed it. It's an epic fantasy, and I found myself enjoying the characters more than I thought I did after I finished it. I'm looking forward to continuing with Tattered Banners, which is book 2. Now, partly the reason why I wanted to continue with this series is that book 3 is coming out, I believe, in 2023. So I'm hoping that I can time this just right to read book 2 and hopefully book 3 right after. So those are all of the anticipated reads that I have for 2023, along with some series that I'm looking forward to completing. What are you most excited to read in 2023? Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.